Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first module of this course where we talk about mastering our thoughts. This is probably the most important module of this complete program because everything begins within a thought form. Everything begins within the psychic realm. And some people might think, well, they're not psychic. Well, guess what? Everyone is psychic. Everyone has psychic abilities. It's just that some people are more tuned into them. Some people came with them turned on, and some people have to actively choose to develop and work with them. So it really is all dependent on what you want. But everyone has psychic ability. So when we think about our senses, we have our senses of taste and smell and hearing and touch, right? Well, some people have extra sensitive senses that will pick up this psychic energies from the psychic realm. So just because those people are extra sensitive to it doesn't mean that you don't also have the same abilities. So when we're talking about our thoughts specifically, when we think about the law of attraction, we think about manifesting through that thought form. It's about a desire, right? It's something that we're thinking about, that we think we want or we want to see take place within our life. And so what happens is any thought that we think that begins in that psychic realm, the universe will support to bring it to us. And that can be both in the negative and in the positive directions. So it's really up to you to be able to master your thoughts in order to tune into the things that you desire and not so much focus on the things that you don't. Because as masters of attraction, we are able to tune and attract anything to us. And that goes for anything we think about. So we want to think about the things that are what we are becoming or who we are becoming or what we want to see manifested into our life in a physical way, right? We don't want to see car accidents and negative things happen. We don't want to see poverty in our lives. We don't want to see ourselves homeless, right? We want to see ourselves as abundant and prosperous. And so we have to create a psychic awareness that supports that process, that supports that universe that we want to create for ourselves. Now, you've heard the term create your own reality. Well, it is a very true statement. And I'm sure most of you that are watching this particular series or this course is actually going to be already tuned into this concept of creating your own reality. And as I talked about before, these are very galactic tools. This isn't something that just Earth has at its accessibility, but this is something that the universe contains, and who knows what beyond this particular universe. So as we think about being able to master our own thoughts, we want to know that everything that we create begins in that thought form. And so we have to come to the awareness and be able to understand these components that before a thing becomes a thing, it is a thought form, right? So if I'm going to look at this particular candle, this is a sample of a candle I make, by the way. It's called Guardian. It's Palo Santo and Sage. But this came to me in a thought form, right? It allowed me to go, okay, I want to create a candle. So I saw a candle. It's like, okay, well, let me move in that direction. And what's the candle going to represent? Okay, well, I want it to be about protection. Okay, so what does protection mean? And how can I bring that and infuse that into my candle? Okay, sage oil and to clear negative energies or transmute energies, and then Palo Santo to really create that high vibe and bring that into people's space, right? So I put that together and then I manifested this into reality because I grounded the idea, but it came in a thought form first, right? And that thought form became this beautiful thing. Now, let's look at the opposite of that. I can manifest negative things simply by thinking about those things too, those things that I don't want. So if I'm feeding a timeline of something I don't want, I'm feeding it the energy that will help to manifest that. The simple focus upon our thoughts upon the things we don't want will actually manifest those things. And that's not what we want, right? We want to focus on what we do want. So this is a big request from me to you to focus on the things that are going to help you manifest and attract those things that serve you and that you want, not necessarily the things that don't. That said, when we do attract certain experiences and things that are less than savory, we will say, they are always meant to teach us something about us. And sometimes those things we're manifesting have to allow us to see aspects of ourselves. And in order to confront those things, before we can actually make the space and clear the room that will allow that thing to take its place, those things we want to manifest. So we want to look at everything that does happen within our reality as something that does serve us and serve our highest good. So when it comes to mastering our thoughts, yes, we want to manifest through thinking about positive things and keeping a psychic realm or idea of positivity. But we also want to look at the negative experiences and think about our negative experiences as something that truly does serve us and our growth on a higher level. For if we're thinking positively about the traumatic or negative experience for what it gave us instead of what it took, we are taking that, transmuting it through our own thought processes and creating something beautiful from it that we can create more of the things we desire and want. Okay. So it's important that we use our thoughts for creation and that we don't focus on our thoughts for something destructive. You know very well we can take a thought or something or a worry that comes in and we can begin to spin ball with it. And we start going off on this direction, and all of a sudden that branches off in 2 other directions, and that branches off into 10 other directions, right? We start spinballing off into these timelines that aren't actually happening. But because we're focused upon them, they start to become our reality. Our body responds to those thoughts, and the physical processes and the chemicals that take place within our body now start responding to those thoughts and creating discomfort in our stomachs, creating heartache, creating issues within our body because our thoughts. So all of everything that takes place on our planet is simply due to our thinking. So if we can begin to shift our thinking personally, we are going to be able to shift our realities that we see and what we are creating. Thus, in turn, also helping all others to create a platform for them to use their thoughts in a positive way so that they can create realities that they want. So, do you see how your individual mastery of thought actually serves everyone else? It serves the collective, and it just takes you shifting your thoughts so that you can shift what's going on in your reality more effectively to attract those things. So when we have something like, think about if you're nervous before you go on stage, or you have to read something or a presentation, if you're working for a business or anything like that, you can get some knots in your stomach because it's literally your thoughts about the event that are creating the discomfort in your belly, right? But if we were to shift our thinking and trust that what we know to be grounded, that we are prepared, that we are ready, we don't necessarily have to worry about that. Because when we show up to an event, the magic is made in the moment. It's when we overthink those things that we create issues. That's why our bellies tell us, you're overthinking. Stop overthinking. Stop worrying about that. You're creating issues in your bowels because you're thinking about these things you don't need to be thinking about. The same goes for the way we like worry, right? We worry and we feel stress. And where does that stress go? Because we're thinking about stressful things and allowing ourselves to get stressed out right here in our necks, in our traps, in our shoulders. And then we get really stressed out. It creates so much energy that builds up in there, and it creates so much tightness. Now, I guarantee you that if you were to switch your thinking and be able to go looking at the things that you are stressed about and start dismantling them, start disengaging them and taking them apart, you're going to allow that tension that builds up in here from those neck stresses to filter out and begin to relax. It is simply you thinking differently about the situation that will allow the stress to go away. It is simply thinking about the situation that's turning your tummy in a very different way. If our thoughts will directly affect our physical body, Now, taking that further, not just a little tummy ache or a headache, a stress headache, or neck issues and shoulder issues, but continuous and chronic negative thinking, hateful thinking, anger, suppressed emotions, and thoughts about something, storing that within the body will actually create an illness within us. So what will happen is if we continually think about these things and it begins to build up a psychic awareness of negative thoughts, negative energy is really what's taking place, and we begin to build it within our body, we begin to manifest illnesses based off of those thoughts because it had nowhere to channel, it had nowhere to go or work itself out. We just keep it thinking about it and thinking about it. And then we start going off on negative timelines. Now, your body responding to your thoughts is also helping you. Your body getting ill or having an indicator or an ailment is literally a signifier that something is going on within you, within your thought process. Okay, on this can stretch into emotions and things like that as well. But let's just look at the thought process. So let's say you have, we can just go back to that tummy ache. Now you have a tummy ache. So it's like, tummy, what's going on with you? Why are you acting up right now? Well, because you keep thinking about this and have fear and worry around it. And so it's causing your stomach to turn. It's causing your bowels to become upset because you won't let it go. So we start communicating with our body, we can be able to get those answers. And then it can put our mind at ease and we can be able to think more clearly. Okay, so our thoughts and how we think about the things that happen in our life are so important for us to keep a clear mind. And how can we do that? Well, it's like you ask the question, yeah, but when you're spinballing in that low space, how can you just pull yourself out? That's where it's important that you realize that you are in control of your own thought processes. So when you start spinballing off into that kind of realm, you bring yourself back to the present moment. You use affirmations. You say, I am present. I am here. Everything is fine. My mind is at ease. My mind is in peace. My mind is at rest and in balance. I can tune into my higher self as well if I want to tune into higher aspects that create more clarity in my life. So you can sit there and go, I'm tuning into my higher self. I'm tuning into the transcendent version of me, the universal mind of me, the God version of me, whatever it is that you believe in. And you can tune into that and say, I think my thoughts from the higher version of me, the higher transcendent version of me. And that should help you kind of pull back and look at things from a different perspective to help your mind become at ease. Okay, so we want to make sure that we also not just know that our thoughts create our reality and that we can master our thoughts, but we need to know how to do that, right? We want to make sure that we're tuning into a higher aspect and that we know that we don't have to stay in this lower space, that we can tune into those higher aspects of us and ask them, help me to become more clear-minded and have clear thoughts within this situation. Okay. Now, again, the universe supports everything that you believe. So if you're thinking thoughts of yourself that are negative, that you don't believe in yourself, that you're too this, you're too skinny, or you're too fat, or you're not good enough, or you compare yourself to all these other people, well, guess what? The universe mirror reflects back what you believe about you. Everything in your reality is a mirror reflection of you. So if you think that you're too skinny and you keep thinking about that, and I say that because when I was younger, I used to think that all the time. I was really, really skinny. I mean, really skinny where it bothered me. And so if I say, oh God, I'm so skinny. I am so skinny. Guess what? The universe goes, oh, you guys, yo, everybody, Derek thinks he's really skinny. Let's support that vision. Let's support him in that belief. So whatever you believe about yourself, the universe and law of attraction will support that. You will gain that energy towards you. So my thoughts about myself created my reality. I chose to see myself as really skinny and not good enough, or and compare myself to others and not believe in my own self-worth. I chose that because my own thoughts chose that. I chose my thoughts to choose that. But then I realized we don't have to do that. And our thoughts don't have to reflect that. And we can take that power back by simply switching our thoughts. Now, at first, it might not be that easy. It might not be a quick switch that you can easily do. This is going to take some practice, but I guarantee you, I promise you that once you begin to practice switching your thoughts, you will see your reality change around you in an instant. So how do we do it? How can we start mastering our thoughts? How can we change it? I gave you a little bit about connecting in with your higher aspects to see things from a higher perspective and you tapping into that higher version of you, that universal version of you, right? But there's also other ways. When a thought form, an energy comes in and you're feeling good and all of a sudden it's like, they're better than you. You're not that good at this, so you should probably just give up right now. You should probably just forget it. That's when you say, here it is. I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. Because everything is agreements. Everything we do is agreements that we have in our life. Yeses and nos. I'm going to go that way. I'm going to go this way. Okay. So you have to begin to take that responsibility in your life. And you have to be able to be responsible for your thoughts. Thoughts come and thoughts go, but you are responsible for how you respond to them. So as your thoughts come in and they might be negative, it's important that we look at that thought and we go, oh, that is not a thought I want to think. So you go, thought, I do not agree with you anymore. Thank you for your serving. Thank you for the things you've given me and the ways you make me think. Thank you for allowing me the space to choose something bigger. Thought, I'm sending you into the light with love, because a thought form is a frequency, and that frequency comes in and goes, hey, we're gonna try to play with you and keep, and that thought form wants to keep you anchored to the 3D, right? The thought form that's a lower negative thing wants to keep you anchored to the ego. And the ego is how we stay anchored to the physical reality. It serves us very well to do so. But the thing is, when those thought forms come in, it doesn't give us it doesn't allow us to sit there and go, oh, yeah, this is really great for me. We just think about the fact of how it's challenging us and our thoughts start spinballing. But you can take the power back and go, thought form, negative thought form, thank you for helping me to choose something higher for myself. So as that negative thought form comes in, I want you to say, I don't agree with you anymore, thought form. Thank you for serving. I am sending you into the light with love. And from there you can serve. It's going to be so much better, or something like that. I say that. Send that frequency into the light, because that lower thought form doesn't know that it can serve from the light. It's not aware of the light, but all we have to do is be able to show that thought form that the light is there for it. And when we do, that thought form goes into the light and is like, damn, this is awesome. I could serve from here. And then we'll forever serve you from that space. Okay. So what I want you to do is not just turn and deflect negative thoughts, transmute it into light. Take that negative thought form, say, I love you. I'm turning you into the light now. And from there you can serve. And then literally you could probably do that and then let it go. It does serve to do physical things, and speak it. Make sure you speak it. This beautiful throat box you have has sacred sound. The sound that comes out of your throat is sacred because no other thing can recreate it. A machine cannot actually recreate. It can get close to get sounding, right? It can never do what that organic sacred sound is. So your unique frequency that comes through your voice is so beautiful and perfect and necessary for you to speak your reality into existence, okay? So we're gonna take those thought forms and send it into the light with love, all right? We are here on this planet to master our energy. We are here to master ourselves in so many different ways, master our physicality, master our emotions, and master our thoughts, and so many more that you will learn as the course goes on. So focus on this one thing first and really ground this. Focus on mastering your personal thought. You mastering your personal thought is going to affect the consciousness of all others. Okay, so when we get those thoughts, be discerning. Be discerning. Start to confront those thoughts. If it doesn't feel good and it's not good, what is it teaching you? Why are you having those thoughts? What is it telling you about you? If I have a negative thought that comes in and continues to play with me or continues to challenge me, I'm like, okay, this one keeps coming. It must be telling me something. And I connect with that thought. That thought may tell me, it's like, I'll go, thought, why do you keep bothering me? What is it that you want me to know? And the thought says, well, you're still holding on to a past version of yourself from high school, that past version of yourself where people made fun of you, and you're still agreeing to that old thought. I'm just here to let you know that it still exists. And I know it doesn't serve you, so I'm giving you the opportunity to let it go now. But it's going to be up to you to let it go. Derek, you have to let it go. It's up to you. And then I get to make the decision whether or not I'm going to do it. Okay, so be discerning. Allow those thoughts to come in and start to work with them. Our experience is meant to work with. Let that thought come in. Discern. Know if it's higher consciousness, higher elevation, higher spirits and guides, higher beings that are communicating with you. You will know because you will feel that lightness in your body. You will feel your cells light up. But if it's a lower negative vibrational thought form, you can probably bet that it's something that says, I'm ready to be cleared from your field now. Because in your electromagnetic field, we have old frequencies kind of floating around. And we also have things stored in our body from the past. But we are able to clear them with conscious intention and being able to take that energy and say, I don't agree with you anymore. And I'm transmuting you and sending you into the light. So use your beautiful, universal, God-given power in order to transmute your life into some powerful energy. And again, I know I've been using the word God, and if that doesn't feel right for some of you, again, use universal, goddess, the all that is, the source, whatever it is that you fully believe in. This is just meant for you so that you can connect into that higher energy in which we all come from. All right. So I hope that serves you well. Allow your thoughts to flow like the wind. Let some come and let some go. The wind will always take away what is necessary. And if you want help with removing those negative thought forms, tune into the element and the archetype of the wind. Say, Spirit of the wind, help me to release these thoughts from my field, from my mind. Help me to be clear and see clearly and see from my highest aspects. Wind, thank you so much for serving me and in this way. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for being here with me. It's all up to you. There are different ways that we can be able to clear those thoughts, but we always want to heal the underlying energy behind something, because if we just band-aid something, it doesn't mean that the energy is actually healed. It is just covered over until a new opportunity comes. Well, guess what? Why don't we master our thoughts now, taking that opportunity in order to meet that opportunity or that challenge and opportunity anytime we are met with it. All right. So practice it now. I guarantee that once you start rehearsing that and using that tool daily, I don't agree with you. Bye. Send you into light love. You are going to watch your universe change around you. So I hope that this lesson is something that you can integrate over time. Feel free to watch this again if it's necessary to allow that information to settle in. Take some notes, but just remember that while you are receiving this, you are also receiving a vibration that was doing some clearing work as well. So have fun, allow the process to just unfold. It will be very natural, but I know you can do it. And I know that we're going to have a beautiful adventure in the rest of our lessons. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon.